We live in a time where hundreds of apps are fighting for our attention every single second. We are all aware of its detrimental effect on productivity, but what if I told you the problem goes much deeper than the inability to focus and finishing your homework on time? All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. That's something Blaise Pascal wrote 500 years ago. They did not have Instagram back then. How can such an old saying be valid in 21st century where reels have severely affected our lives? But what if I told you the biggest reason behind your distracted mind and your tiny attention span is not Instagram reels? Yes, overconsumption is a huge problem, but while everyone is busy blaming YouTube, Instagram, and Netflix, the main culprit is actually hiding in the shadows, which is making us miserable without us even realizing it. Now, this is the story of last week. I was constantly feeling like I'm not working to my full potential. I was more distracted than usual. And this problem goes much deeper if I'm doing something creative, which is like 95% of my work. You see, for non-cognitive work, the attention levels are discrete. You are working here, you are distracted here, working here, and so on. But when it comes to cognitive or creative work, I find the attention levels to be continuous. Here I am working, here I get distracted, and every time I get off work, my creative capacity somehow reduces, and before I know it, the ideas stop flowing and I'm left thinking like it's just not a good day to write here. And I wasn't worried about it until it happened the next day and the day after that as well. And it got me thinking, what exactly was going wrong? At first I thought it might be because of the confined space. I always stay in the same room and write exactly here. Maybe I need a more open space to open up my mind and let my mind wander. And that's why I tried going to the terrace and tried writing, because the terrace is my comfort place, but it didn't go as planned. Other than the stupid cold, I was left with 2.5 lines of disjointed lines here and there on my iPad, but I didn't give up. I tried changing the mode of writing, the pen I was using, the music, and even the location. Now at this point I was almost convinced that this was just a creative rut. I need to take some time off and then maybe get back on track. But I know what you're thinking, that this guy talked about the main culprit, which is not YouTube, Instagram, and all of these things. That is actually robbing us of our attention span and of our creative mind. When is he going to talk about that?
Low battery. Please recharge headset.
That's it. Music. I listen to it every day, every waking hour. When I'm not on YouTube, Netflix, or Instagram, I am for sure listening to music. And while music is one of the greatest art forms to ever exist, and it is also the backbone of a lot of my ideas, I believe the constant inflow of music through our ears throughout the day is a problem. Now, I'm not trying to portray music as a villain here. It's a beautiful thing. What I'm trying to say is that we blame every other mode of consumption, but somehow no one bats an eye towards the overconsumption of music. And therefore, it's not an attempt to antagonize music at all, but it's a plea to disconnect and have genuine conversations with yourself and with other people. Due to the constant inflow of quickly changing music or videos to our brains over years, our attention span is completely fucked. We cannot eat without Netflix, we cannot take a shower without any music, and it's literally next to impossible for us to sit and do nothing. It becomes so uncomfortable, you always pick up something to do. But I want you to imagine yourself stuck in a room without your PC turning on, you don't know where your phone is, and you don't have access to any kind of music. What exactly do you do? You'll probably pick up a book and start reading. While it is definitely a better medium of consumption, it is still a medium of consumption, an inflow of information to our brain. So scrape the books. What do we do now? Now, I don't have any scientific backing behind this, but I have an idea. I think the fact that our brains become so uncomfortable when it is empty, when it's not getting any inflow of information, music, video, and all of that, I think we can use that fact to our advantage. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to deprive our brains from all of those inflow, and my theory, my hypothesis is that our brain becomes so uncomfortable without anything. It becomes void. It becomes so uncomfortable that it starts coming up with its own ideas and own thoughts to fill the void. And that is like a dream to any creative person, but It is just my hypothesis. We cannot call a hypothesis a thesis or a theorem without first running a few tests. So this is the first experiment that I'm trying to do, sitting away from my desk without any music, in complete ambient noise. I can also look at the clouds over here, very pretty, and try to write something. Let's see if my hypothesis has any grounds to be considered in the future. Okay, so this is where I have landed on, and after like 30 minutes of writing, I have successfully churned out all the structural parts of 2 YouTube videos, and I like the ideas, and hopefully they will become like very good YouTube videos on this very channel. And if you're wondering, how did I know without my phone that it has been 30 minutes? I got a new watch, bitch. I got a new watch. My hypothesis is looking good, but we cannot theorize a hypothesis to be true by just one iteration. So this is day 2 and we are at the balcony today. I think my brain will just at this point configure the beanbag with writing, and I don't mind, it's very comfortable. But yeah, let's try writing for 30 minutes again. I got a new watch, guys. And that calls the end of 30 minutes once again. And guys, this over here is like 2 real scripts, fully fledged, fully written. I'm not trying to show off the watch, although I know it's a beautiful watch, guys. 2 real scripts in 30 minutes, bro. I'm taking that any day. So day 2 was an absolute success. I'll just try it a third time tomorrow and then we can call it a theorem. But I made another very strong argument at the start of the video that music is making us miserable without us realizing it. Now that's a very bold statement. Let me explain. This has nothing to do with distraction or productivity. Now I strongly believe our generation has a higher IQ, but I think we severely lack in terms of emotional intelligence, because whenever something goes wrong, something goes right, or anything in that spectrum, something in between Arijit or Diljit starts playing, telling us exactly what to think and how to feel. And unlike our technologically backwards ancestors, we never sit with our thoughts. And the more we preach music as a coping mechanism in our life, the more we normalize not sitting and processing our thoughts and our feelings like people used to do back in the day, which is resulting in highly educated people with very shit emotional intelligence. Just like me, I am about to turn 24. I don't think I have the emotional intelligence of a 24-year-old. I'm probably like 19 or 18, something like that, by the way. Yes. So on day 3, I have ditched the beanbag and today we are writing at our bed. I think the habit of writing is actually pretty amazing here. This is what day 3 looks like, and I'm very happy with where this is going, man. I think my hypothesis is thesizing, turning into a thesification. I don't know. Thesification. This experiment got me thinking. Since majority of my daily work involves being creative, and not listening to music for mere 30 minutes can help me regain my creativity even just a little bit, what if I stop listening to music altogether? Now I know that's a bad idea. I need music to come up with sequence ideas. I have to find music to edit the videos and I'll have to listen to them while editing. I mean, I think that can be neglected because that's part of my work. But it will still be a shame to miss out on the greatest art form to ever exist. So there has to be a middle ground. Well, there is. I am taking the challenge to not listen to music for the next 15 days from the date this video is published. So that means no music while writing, no music while I'm walking, and especially no music while I'm at the gym. And this is going to be especially hard because I'm going home next week and it will be like 7-8 hours of travel with no music. So I guess books have to be the savior. I bought a few books, I'm going to make a video about it. And if you are also sort of convinced about this hypothesis of mine, you can also join this challenge by clicking the first link in the description below. And over the next 15 days, we will not listen to any music. And if you take a part in this challenge, you will also get a chance to be a part of the result video, which will be coming out like 15-20 days later, where I'll be sharing my experience of how this challenge went and how it changed and made any change in my life. And if you take the challenge with me, I will also interview you guys to understand what kind of changes it brought into your life, so that we have a better, bigger sample space and we can draw better conclusions. And talking about being serious, we are also seriously trying to reach 200k subscribers before 2025. So you know exactly what to do. So thanks a lot for watching. And if you are struggling with managing a million things in your life, here is a video which you might like to watch. Maybe this one. I don't know which side it is. Bye.